Everybody's supposed to get 5-minute warning to use. There's your 5-second warning on the recording.
I got you before you.
Good job. All right. I want to thank all y'all for coming out today. I think this is probably our second biggest group we've had since we kicked off the Hunt County Economic Development Alliance. So this is awesome to see. For those of y'all who may not have heard, Dr. Rudin's wife had they had a family medical issue he had to take care of today. I'll let Tammy refer a little bit more to that if you need to. So Tammy Bakasi is going to be speaking to us today on what's going on with A&M Commerce and the plans and things like that. How many of y'all remember, we're going to the Hunt County Alliance real quick, how many of y'all remember the Hunt County Economic Development Alliance from years past? Oh, looky there. You know, I think, as a matter of fact, one of my very first meetings for it was here talking about transportation. I think that was one of the first ones I came to, and that's what kind of got me into it. Anyway, it dissolved a couple, 3 years ago. It got a little bit into a lot of things with scholarships and things like that. It became an administrative tasking position, shall we say. So now, what we do, we don't do any of the 501c3 and scholarships. We simply bring things for Hunt County in presentations that helps develop economic development for the entire county, period. We have no political affiliations. We don't have any political stance. We are 100% just independent, bringing information to Hunt County for everyone to see what we've got going on. We do have a steering committee. They didn't want me to, well, first off, before I do that, let me recognize all the elected officials and candidates running for office. If y'all could stand real quick and y'all give them a round of applause. Thank y'all for coming. There you go. Awesome. And if I could have all of our steering committee, they told me not to recognize me, but you know, all the steering committee, y'all can stand up real quick. I'll tell you who they are as they stand up. Ashley Burke, Bobby Stovall, Brent South, C.C. Gessner, D. Helton, Denise Morgan, Greg Sims, John Verity, Pam England, Paul Voss, Shelley Corrales, and myself as the chair. Also, thanks to your custom web design, Brett Kelly does all our web stuff for us for free. Thank goodness, so because we have no money to pay for it. Anyway, like I said, we brought back the Hunt County Alliance specifically to bring information to the county. What we've done so far, we've done jail bond presentations, we've done meet the candidate forums, we've had multiple, as y'all would imagine, Hunt County Appraisal District meetings, Hunt County School Bond meetings. Yeah, that's why Brent's not up here. And our last one we had was in May, where we had L3 Harris update, and I think we had Shelley, I think we had almost 100 or a little over 100 people. So, and today I think we did a count, we've got about 65 or 70 here. So, great job. I appreciate y'all, you guys coming out, and also having free food is always a positive. But our next event that we're going to have coming, I wish Ashley was here. D, I think it's January 17th. Does that sound right? Where's D at? Is it January? I think it's January 17th. We're doing a transportation update, which will be over in Roy City. We're planning on doing it at the Quest Church, so that's coming up next. But anyway, if y'all ever have any kind of community inputs, anything that you want us to put on for you guys that y'all are interested in, just reach out to any of us on the steering committee and let us know. If there's any places, locations you'd like to go for these presentations, we're trying to go all over Hunt County if we can. And if there's any sponsorships that y'all want to do, just let us know. But it's all about just bringing information back to Hunt County. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Brother Paul Voss, as you throw that, to do the introduction of our speaker today. So come on up, brother.
You told me you were going to talk for 30 minutes.
No, they know better than I'd be dead by now. They're about to kill me right now, so come on up here. So he's going to do the reading part. But anyway, thank y'all very much for coming, and let's let Paul introduce our guest for today.
Thank you, Paul.
appreciate it very much. I know we're all gonna keep Mark and his wife, Libby, in our prayers, so y'all, please do that. And we were lucky that our chambers already had Dr. Hosty talk to us once, and she's really a great speaker, and y'all will really enjoy what she's got to say. First of all, Dr. Hosty joined the family of the Lion family here on the 1st of July. She's the Vice President for Academic Affairs and the Provost. Excuse me, last year Dr. Hosty was selected as a Fellow of the American Council for Education and one of the oldest and most prestigious leadership training programs of higher education in the country. She worked with University and college presidents and provosts across the nation, focused on current issues and importance of higher education. Prior to coming to Texas A&M University, she served as the Dean of the Graduate College at Boise State University, where she provided oversight for graduate education for over 70 master's and 11 doctoral programs across 6 colleges. During her time at Boise State campus, the graduate college increased enrollment 8 to 10% per year. Under her leadership, several transdisciplinary doctoral programs were begun and continue to flourish. Dr. Hosty spent the majority of her academic career at Colorado State University, where she was a faculty member for almost 2 decades. I'm not going to say anything about the 2 decades, right? Sorry. In Fort Collins, Colorado, she served as Associate Dean of the Graduate School and was tenured full professor for the Department of Psychology. Dr. Hosty received her BS in Psychology and MS in Counseling Psychology from Arizona State University, and she completed a PhD in Counseling and Psychology from Texas A&M. This lady is just now finding her way around, and she's really moving, shaking with all of our local community, and we appreciate her coming in to step in today. And she's not really a fill-in, she's just an addition, and she's really a welcome one. And we thank you very much.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Paul. Thanks, all of you. That was very gracious. I will start by welcoming you to campus. I usually wait till the end of any talk, but I have to just do this now. Go Lions. Anybody want to go Lions? All right. There's a few of you. Go Lions. We're very proud of this campus, and as you came on, I hope you saw our students and faculty going in and out of buildings, starting school. This is the 3rd week, and we're just so happy to have everybody back. Now, I do need to take a step back and give my apologies. The president would love to be here, and he wanted to let you know that this is not something that he decided easily to miss. He is an economic development guy at his core, and he says that openly. So he is sorry, there is a medical issue within the family, and you know it has to be serious for Dr. Rudin not to have to join all of you. This is being recorded, and I understand on right now, live, so I'm going to be careful what I say, but if it wasn't, I would say this is maybe one of his even favorite groups. But I'm going to be trying to be more careful now that I know it's being recorded and people out of this room are listening to us. So Dr. Rudin did leave me some notes. I am going to be looking at them. But what I thought I would do is start on my own. You know, nobody gets to this position by following all the rules all the time, right? So I appreciate the nice introduction. What I will tell you, though, is I come here from Colorado State via Boise State. And one of the reasons I went to Boise State is it was the first time I saw a university that connected with the community so well. In fact, when I interviewed for a job at Boise State, one of the groups that I interviewed with was the community. And I wasn't sure what that was going to be like, but I had a breakfast with about 5 community members. And what I learned is that's how Boise State did it. It was the town to gown connection. Where the university went, the city, the county, some of the state went with it. And that's all I know. And that's also one of the reasons I'm here, because that kind of connection between a university and the community, and in this case, we're talking about Hunt County, is what I would think everybody would want, because it's a win-win. And I'm one of those people who, I like win-wins. It's a win for our students, it's a win for the university, and it's a win for the community. I'll just share that I bought a house here in Commerce. I'm very excited about that. And I'm looking to continue to be a part of the community because of what it brings us all. It's a richer experience, and I'm just really thrilled to do that. Now, besides the community connection that I saw I could have here at A&M Commerce, there were a few other things that brought me here. And as an outsider coming in, is it okay if I share that with you, just what I saw and what was so attractive to me? One of the first things that was very clear when I was learning about the university and when I came on campus to visit, actually it wasn't a visit, it was an interview, but it helps to think about it more as a visit versus being interviewed or grilled, but was the commitment to the students and the transforming of lives. Here at A&M Commerce, we transform lives, our students' lives. Now, I will tell you, across the nation, universities are talking about transformation. And you heard last year I had the opportunity to travel the nation and be a part of the ACE community, American Council on Education. And so I was in and out of a lot of universities and a lot of communities, and a lot of talk about transformation. But I haven't seen anybody do it quite like A&M Commerce does it. We're talking about social mobility, about what education does, not only for our students, but for their family and their loved ones, and what they then turn around and bring back to the community. Now here at Commerce A&M, we talk about the transformation, and the term social mobility comes up. Now, I don't know how you all feel about that term, but no 18-year-old, no 25-year-old has ever gotten real excited about social mobility. I've tried to talk to my colleagues about how do we better speak about, explain, make a picture of what we do here when we transform lives. And one of my colleagues finally came up with, it's the magnitude of the leap. The magnitude of the leap. Now, I'm not going to go put that on any bumper stickers anytime soon because I don't think that's going to help us. But what he was saying is where our students come from and what they're able to achieve as they learn through the years here at A&M Commerce, the internships that they might be able to do with you, the graduation, and then going into the workplace is significant. And again, we transform lives, and it's not just theirs, it's the broader community. So that's one of the reasons I came. Two other quick reasons I'll tell you about is the faculty. From early on, I saw faculty who cared about the students and were invested. And that makes a difference. I don't know about any of you, if you went to college and there were a lot of new things and new people. And what hopefully happened is one faculty, someone said hello to you or cared about you a little bit more in the classroom or encouraged you to come to their office. And that's what I saw and what I'm seeing in the A&M Commerce faculty. Now, across the nation, you probably all have heard this, with the pandemic, faculty were required or asked to do a really heavy lift, take all of their classes that were face-to-face and put them online. And A&M faculty did that. And although I wasn't here, I can see how successful they were because students kept being educated, they kept graduating, they kept moving on to follow their passion. Because I will tell you, no matter how happy we are when students choose A&M Commerce for their education, we celebrate even more when they graduate, when they walk across that stage with a degree and go out, follow their passion, make a difference in their lives and everyone else's. So it's the faculty was number two. Number three was the unique ability of A&M Commerce to meet both rural and urban needs. That is incredibly interesting and unique, and not something that many universities can talk about or say they do. And here at A&M Commerce, by our bases here in Hunt County, City of Commerce, we also have that connection in Dallas that I'll talk with you a little bit more about what's going on. But what a valuable, incredible, unique way to serve people in this county, in this region of the state. I believe, we are the University of Northeast Texas. And I call that Lion Country. So that's why I'm intending to go Lions more times than I probably should. Anyway, I hope that helps you knowing a little bit more about my background and what I saw as an outsider and someone who has, again, spent a year going to different universities throughout the nation. We have something very, very special at A&M Commerce, and I couldn't be prouder to be a member of the Lion family and a part of this community. So now I'm going to try to decipher Mark's notes, so be gentle. Yeah, it's his handwriting. So what I know in talking with Mark, it's not just his handwriting, by the way. You all know Dr. Rudin is who he is, and he says what's on his mind, and I think that's so refreshing. And what he has constantly talked about, again, his economic development background and core, is the value that the university brings to the community and how the community connects with the university. And we're proud to be one of the largest employers here in this area, and that we see ourselves as really a cultural, social, and educational part of the community. A reminder that that's in our mission, and we do it across the board, whether it's athletics, or theater, or music, or the rodeo. We bring the area to the campus, and the campus goes out. We have 11,000 students this semester. I'll just tell you, some of you might be wondering about enrollment. Enrollment is a huge, it's a significant issue across the nation. Majority of universities are seeing lower enrollment, and that's causing a lot of concern. Here at A&M, we are focusing on it. That's true. We're working very hard to make sure that students who want to come to A&M and get their degree have access, because that's what A&M Commerce is about, access, wanting students to come here. So we're about 11,000. We don't know yet because the cutoff date isn't for another week, but if anything, we'll be flat in our enrollment this year compared to last year, or be a few up. I will note that according to Mark's notes, and I double checked just so I was making sure I had them right, in addition to the 11,000 students that we have here on campus, we also have about 800 faculty and 550 staff. So if that helps you to know about the 1,300 people who are contributing to the community, and we'll say 1,301 because I think I already shared, oh, two, my husband's here and we bought the house together. All right, so let me talk just a minute about Dallas, because I mentioned the urban-rural or the rural-urban connection. Dallas is something that the system is very interested in, and really the goal, as many of you may know, it's about meeting the needs of people in the Dallas area that aren't being met in another way. Right now, we have about 1,500 students there, and in 2 to 3 years, that may grow up to 3,000 is a projection. It's going well, students are happy, faculty are making adjustments, it's evolving in a learning process, but I truly believe it adds. When I talk to faculty who are teaching both in Dallas and here, and by the way, this isn't on Mark's notes, these faculty are excited about the connections of the rural-urban aspect and what that means for their classrooms and about the discussions. And as the head of faculty, that makes me excited because our goal, first and foremost, is to meet the needs of the students. But I'm a big believer, and by the way, there's research that suggests happy faculty bring happy students, and that's important. While we're doing some growth in Dallas, I want to assure you that this is our main campus, and we can continue to invest here. In fact, over $100 million. So Mark has shared with me that we are focused on a number of private and public partnerships. I know this to be true because Jimmy John's is now here, and I've had that. We also have Chick-fil-A, and I suspect many of you know this, but this seems to be a really popular addition, and that's the Whataburger that's coming right by the Walmart. We have laughed to see how many tweets Whataburger got from the university. It went right to the top of what's been tweeted most about the university. So Whataburger was asked for by the students. I've heard Dr. Rudin talk about his very intense talks with students and him trying to, if you've ever talked to Mark, you know he's interested in people and he's a big personality. And he tries to talk to the students about what they're interested in and what they're learning and what they need and how we can better serve. And I think he was a little surprised and a bit amused when we did some kind of a survey and the number one thing they needed was a Whataburger. So anyway, so those public-private partnerships are really important to the university, and I believe there will continue to be more. And I think it's exciting, and it's only what we can imagine. Here in Commerce, I want to make sure I'm getting these numbers right. So we have invested or will invest $20 million in a welcome center here on campus. This center will be for potential students and their families to come be welcomed first here on campus and then taking the tour. What we want to do is make sure they have a good sense of who we are here at A&M Commerce and what we believe and how their experience will be. And for their parents or family members, they want to make sure that we're going to take care of their kids, and we will. There's also plans for a $46 million ag, ed, and some kind of complex. So there's an ag complex coming for $46 million. And President Rudin and I have had to talk about this. In fact, when I was interviewing, this was one of the things he talked to me about, our investment in ag and how that also had economic development aspects of could we, as we continue to grow the ag college, many of you might know the dean, Randy Harp, but could we attract ag companies that might want to come here? Could we help ag to become a stronger economic driver in this area? And so that ag pavilion was really something that, again, when I was interviewing back in March, was really identified in one of the ways that Commerce was investing in itself. And I want to share that with you. We also are exploring an event center that would have hard courts and different kind of sports opportunities for our students, different events. It would be something to be used with and for the community. And right now that's initially set at 60 million. That would have been a really cheap event center. A tent and a bit of a fence, huh? A tent with a fence. Not what we're doing. Yeah, who is ever recording? Not what we're doing. Not at all what we're doing. It's 60 million in an event center. So I am going to stop now and see if there's any questions. I've done my best in now the third month I'm here to learn as much as I could. about this community, about this campus, to meet people. I'm looking to continue engaged because you already heard, that's what I know, that's my values, and what I really believe to the core. We are better together. That's for our campus and also our campus and community. So thank you for your attention. I appreciate it. And any questions?
When will the Whataburger open?
Not soon enough, according to the students. I think it's about a year out. I'm not sure. Does anybody else know?
So is the welcoming center, is that gonna replace like a one-stop shop? Is that gonna be like the, because we have where students register and all that?
Yeah, yeah. So when was the Whataburger gonna open? I said not soon enough. You heard that, but I think in a year or so, sooner the better. His question was if the Welcome Center will replace the one-stop shop. I don't believe so. My understanding is it's more of a center where students, it's about first impression. You all know this, right? You're in business, you know the importance of you get one chance for that first impression and how people want to utilize your company. For us, it's about that one first shot when that student and his or her family come and how we welcome them. That's what that Welcome Center is to my understanding. Working on, I will tell you that there's a lot of energy, a lot of focus on how do we continue to go and grow enrollment here on campus. There's a lot of competition out there, right? And you all know better than I do, Texas is really a big state, and it has a lot of higher educational institutions. And so it's our job to figure out what is it that A&M Commerce does well, and why would students come here, and how do we share that with them, and probably even more importantly, show that to them that first time they step on campus. Because there is some research that in the first few minutes of stepping on a campus, students know if that's the place for them. And I know with my two children, that was true. Stepped on campus and looked and thought, oh goodness, this is where they're going. Nobody went to Colorado State in my family when I worked there. So that's what that's about. Other questions?
Yes. Your relationship with Paris Junior College and other junior colleges in the area. I'm not too sure on this, but I was under the understanding that PJC is now under an umbrella from Texas A&M on the development of degrees there, like a bachelor's degree and things like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna apologize ahead of time that I know Dr. Rudin would have a very in-depth, thoughtful answer, accurate as well. I'm not so sure about that. What I do know is there is lots of discussion, and we also have a number of partnerships with different community colleges. I'm not so sure about Paris, but that doesn't mean it's not happening. So I'm sorry I don't know more about the different sites.
You're so gracious to talk to us, we appreciate that so much. But the president of PJC is here, Dr. Eklund. I don't want to know that.
You know, elaborate.
We might all have
Yeah, like I'm gonna say no thank you. I about ran in my heels towards you. Thank you.
We have been working with A&M Commerce for several years with our Guided Pathways project, and it's been about 5 years ago when we brought our faculty over, and we spent a half day, a little more with A&M Commerce faculty and department chairs and deans. And so all of our degree plans are mapped for a seamless transfer to A&M Commerce. So we work with the deans. We have also some very specialized articulation agreements with A&M Commerce. So we do everything we can so that the students we get can come right over to A&M Commerce without losing any credits. And we even work with course content with the faculty here so that we make sure we're teaching the same things that would be taught here.
Thank you for that, and thank you for such a wonderful answer, and I am just ecstatic about that. And given that the deans report to me, I now know. Thank you. Other-
So what, is kind of the strategy going forward, say, the next 5 years for your Dallas campus? As, you know, you said we hope to grow at 3,000 there. I suppose you have some space there to do that. And then is the strategy to, that would be a stepping stone, maybe get those students to come out here, or is that more of a graduate school there, or what's kind of the overall strategy? You don't have to,
So the question is, what's the strategy going forward with the Dallas campus, and how might it interact directly with our campus here? And I will say, I'm not sure I'm the expert on this. Again, we all know I started July 1. But my understanding is, again, I said this, is meeting the needs of Dallas students who don't have their needs already met. And what we're offering is our junior and senior courses, and then our graduate courses there. What we want to do is make sure there is a market for what we have to offer. And if we take classes there or a degree there, again, it has to be just junior, senior, so the full degrees that would be offered are only graduate. But we need to make sure there's a market, and if there isn't, then we aren't going to offer it there. Now, I could see where somebody maybe completes a master's or gets involved in some of the classes there and can't complete their degree and would come here to Commerce. That is one. Also, given that we have junior, senior at the undergraduate courses, it could be very possible that they complete an A&M degree at the undergraduate level, learn a bit more about going on to graduate school. And by the way, I don't think everybody needs to go to graduate school, but I do believe everybody needs to know that it's an option, and that if they want to, they can, and A&M Commerce is here to help them do that. And for those students who maybe got an undergraduate degree through the courses in Dallas, could easily come here for their advanced doctorate or their master's advanced education. I suspect, given that I don't have exact answer, that it's something we're continue to think about and will work on.
what about the needs of local industries, larger industries in the area, and they have specific needs for software engineers, aerospace, civil, various others? What do you envision based on your experience? I know a lot of that's already going on, so this is really more a question for you based on what you might bring to the table that would help local industries and help people like Greg Sims, like Hunter, work to bring more industry here because they look at the education.
Yeah, great question. Basically, he's asking what can we do to help industry, and how can education help to move forward different areas. What I know is that industry is constantly changing. And when I had a meeting earlier today with my deans, I talked about the importance of being nimble as a university, as being forward-facing and cutting edge. That's how I see A&M Commerce moving. We need to know what our students are going to need to be in an industry. And to do that, we also make sure, or we need to know, we must know what industry needs and where these students can get a job. I don't think anybody wants students to come to A&M Commerce to get a degree and not find that employment that they need and want. That's the goal here. Yes, I want them to graduate, but the graduation is so that they can go on and find gainful employment. That's when we cheer, that's when their family is happy, and that's where the true win is. So what I add, I'm not sure if it was about A&M Commerce, I know that's a constant discussion. I know we're watching what's going on. If it's personal about what I bring, I'm a counseling psychologist by discipline. What that means is I am much more comfortable sitting down and listening than I am talking up here in a group like this. That's my preferred. So what I personally bring is my interest in the community, in this county, my curiosity about what's going on and what we can potentially do together. I think you heard in my bio or my introduction, my specialty really was transdisciplinary PhDs. I happen to focus on PhDs, but that can be at the undergraduate level, at the master's level. It doesn't have to be at the PhD because industry needs people at every level. And at the 4-year level, you need usually more of those kind of workers, a few less of the masters and very few often in industry of the PhDs or the doctoral candidates. So given that that's my specialty, my interest of how do we cross disciplines, because you know in your life, you talk to people who are doing different things all the time and they're often in your job place, right? What we do in academia is we put you into majors, right? But what if we were able to connect a couple of majors in a new way that provides the skill sets in a much more direct and successful way that you all need when you're trying to hire our graduates? That's what I would hope to bring, is listening to what the needs are, and then my value for creativity, looking forward, trying new things, taking an informed risk is something I could help. The other piece, and I'm not sure this is exactly what you're asking, but I will add, because if I was you, I would want to know this, because I think it's an ongoing concern, is when a student has a degree, what does that really mean? And can they communicate to you what it means? That's more important, right? Can one of our graduates come to an interview with you and not just say, well, I have a degree in fill in the blank major, but what if he or she could say, I have a degree in the blank, and here's the skill sets I have. Here's the experiences that I believe would be beneficial to you and your company, or what you're looking for to move forward in your area. And that's one of the things I'm also very interested in, is what does that degree mean? Because I'll tell you, and again, I'm sorry if this is any of you in here, you don't need to raise your hands, English majors, or children who want to major in English, or frankly, I was a psychology major, and a lot of people major in psychology, but I don't know a lot of parents who are happy when they drop their child off to get a psychology degree. But wait, think of the important skill sets that an English major might have. The writing, the critical thinking, the creativity. And what if when they're interviewing for you, or they want a job with you, they can talk about that, and they can sit there, so you don't have to, connect, you don't have to guess, what they've learned, what their skills are, and how it's going to help you in what you're trying to do. Same with the psychology major. Psychology majors know about statistics. At the undergraduate level, they take a couple of research courses. So they can do stats, they can analyze data, they can interpret it, they can identify patterns. If they taken some of the clinical skills, they should have an idea of group dynamics, or how to communicate, or help others to communicate. So that's something that I also know A&M Commerce has been thinking about, certainly something our president values and has been pushing on how do we ensure that our students are workplace ready. And on top of that, we want them to be able to talk about it and share it with you.
Could you share a little bit about the competency-based education programs and how that benefits non-traditional students that are in the workplace today?
Yeah, the company-based education, CBE, is one of our fastest growing areas. And what it really does is these are online degrees that professionals in the field can take. And it really does offer an online opportunity to take at your same pace. We have one in criminal justice. That's the example that I know most and how that's really being beneficial. We also are working on the pathways for teachers that will help to get more certified teachers out there quicker. The idea is that for a lower cost, a certain amount of cost, you can really take the course in the time that you need to, and also on your own time, like during the day. I will tell you, CBE is something I was incredibly impressed with, something I wanted to know more about and still do, because it's different. And with our dean, I've had really good conversations about how she wants to continue to expand CBE opportunities, and I assure you, we have just begun. It is our fastest growing college. It's incredible the interest that it's bringing, and I just think there's so much more potential, especially with your question on what more can you do for industry and what areas of industry. This is a way that we can get people educated who are already in the field but need a bit more education and that formal degree. You'll see a lot more from that college, and that's really exciting to me as well.
What's your philosophy of bringing people in from the business world or other people who have practical experience and bring them into instructional roles or university, maybe not professors, but instructors?
Can I have your card? I am all about that. When I was a faculty member, I taught in a PhD counseling program at Colorado State, and I always brought in real doctors. Even though I had a clinical practice, I was an academic, and the students wanted so much to hear from people who were doing what they wanted to do in the field. So my focus on that is really the more the better, and I will take your card because you got it out. Thank you. But that is really what the university is about, and I think with creativity, there isn't anything we can't probably figure out on the way we can interact with people. And we need individuals from our community with real life experiences, like Mr. W.D. Hilton here, who can help us to think through what we're doing. So often I've been involved actually with advisory boards made up of industry people, community people, because academics, I'll tell you, we think we know what needs to go into the curriculum. And I think we're pretty good at it. This is what we do for a living. So I want to give a shout out to faculty who are thoughtful about the curriculum and look at how they can help students to gain skills. But what we also need to do is what I've already talked about, is make sure there is added benefit for you when you hire one of our students. And so we don't know that or know what's really your thinking unless we bring you on to campus or have you as a part of our thinking, whether it be an advisory board, whether it be an adjunct faculty or an instructor. So I think there's a lot of opportunities. And if I'm not thinking of all of them, feel free to contact me with any of your ideas. Because again, I think we're better together, and you might be thinking of things that we would love to do that we haven't gotten to yet. One more question. Yes?
Can you talk a little bit about the rising cost of education? What is your long-term plan? Do you have a strategy for creating something, making education affordable? 5-6 years ago, A&M Commerce had a major program that led to a major that I think was $10,000. You could get a bachelor's degree for $10,000. Is that still active, or what's the strategy to keep costs affordable?
Yeah, one more question, huh? Yeah, thank you for that.
You have a candidate for U.S. Congress back in the back. Good self-evident study.
I was gonna say, he's got a lot of information here, yeah.
Education belongs to the state level, not the federal level.
Thank you, thank you. And I will just add on, A&M Commerce, we know that it's important for students to be able to afford education. We do everything we can to keep the tuition low. There aren't increases lately. And when students need them, we do everything we can to help them get that financial aid. And I will say, I feel very strongly that the most expensive degree is the one that's never finished. And that's why when you hear me talk up here, it's about graduation. Listen, I was a college kid, a long time ago, but I was a college kid. I had fun. I met my husband my first year, and we had fun. And I want that for our students, right? I want our students to come to this campus. I want them to meet people, to develop lifelong relationships. Maybe they'll meet their partner or their spouse. I want them to do all of that. But they really come here to do what they need to do to graduate. So that if they do have loans, they have the gainful employment to be able to pay them back. And yes, A&M Commerce is a school that looks at access. We want everyone who wants an education and is serious about it and willing to work with us and for themselves, because we can't work harder than anybody else is going to work on their life. But I know A&M Commerce, our faculty and our administrator, and definitely our president, Dr. Mark Rudin, will be there to do everything we can to keep the cost as low as we can, to work with the state to educate Texans and other communities like ours. And again, I'll just finish with, I do believe we're better together. So thank you for coming to campus today. Thank you for giving me a chance to talk a little bit about what I'm seeing, why I'm here, and here we go. Go Lions!
Let's hear about 2 months on the job. And we just found out it was meeting last night. So please give her a good round for being here. That's pretty amazing. Great job, team. All right, we're going to wrap up. I want to thank GEUS. Thank y'all again for doing your recordings. All of these are recorded. They were done live. And then they're also on a link on our website, which Brett, my son, will have to do. This is his community service to do the website for free. So he'll take care of that. It'll be... It's for Hunt County Community Service EDA.com. How about that? HuntCountyEDA.com, right? So anyway, he'll make sure to put those on past events. We've got about, this is our 8th one, believe it or not, already. This is our 8th one, and I think we've got about 5 or 6 recordings on there. So feel free to go look at all the ones we've done before. And in January, I don't think Ashley made it today, but January, Brother D is going to be doing our transportation update, which we haven't had in a little bit. So he'll be doing that over in around Royce City. So anyway, y'all be careful. Thank y'all for coming, and God bless you. God bless Texas.
This video has been brought to you by GEUS 34. GEUS is your community-owned provider for electric, internet, cable TV, and true local programming.